Hey, morning, Marshal. Daphne here. I've got your essay in my inbox, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna do your essay first today, because I know your exam is coming up, and just gives you time just to think about the corrections. And yeah, keep moving if you want to. You're doing really, really well. Timing, yeah, don't mess up on timing. Okay, I've had some brilliant students who have not finished in the exam and lost a considerable amount of marks because of that. So really, really push yourself next one on timing. Always take time to plan. That's really important. Don't think, okay, I'll miss the planning, because your planning is really good. I mean, your flow on the essay is really good, and you will score highly for that. So make sure you do your planning, but after that, just keep moving. So I like your strong intro on this one. Title. These days, more and more people are travelling domestically and internationally. There are clearly many benefits, but there are some who argue it has some drawbacks. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages. So you've clearly understood you've got to have both sides here and give reasons, whatever. So owing to the advent of affordable transport, more and more people are travelling locally and abroad to take advantage of this opportunity. Very nice, good. And nice paraphrasing here, you've done that very well. Though there are many benefits to travel, especially psychologically, psychosocially, woo, nice, for the traveller, there have been debates against this trend, mainly because of the societal interference as a result of tourism. Well done. You might even put here, and environmental uh, interference as a result of tourism. Uh, Very nice start, obviously, lovely. To begin with, travelling allows individuals to experience cultures different from their own, which in turn allows them to become more open-minded uh, and accepting. Okay, I definitely have become, because you're talking about a transformation rather than just be open-minded, which is a state. So allows them to become. You could have grammatically, which would be quite nice, um, rather than which in turn. Okay, yours is perfect, yeah. But as an alternative, you could have this. You could just have literally, therefore, allowing them to become. Which is just a little slightly sort of, you can use a participle instead of the present tense. Just put that in there as an alternative. And accepting. By bonding with natives of different beliefs, parochial mindsets could be changed. Now here you need a comma, because you're going into a different clause there, resulting in it would have to be less actually social discord than international conflict. Uh, you could have fewer disagreements with accountable, but this is not countable, so you would have to have less social discord. Moreover, changing scenery could, now here, don't forget my modal verbs, I will just be shouting at you in this exam, could be very beneficial for one's mental well-being. Seasonal depression, for instance, is a detrimental issue for countries with minimal daylight during winter months, such as Norway or Iceland. If residents could travel to sunnier destinations during these months, the negative psychological effects of seasonal effect could be mitigated. Hey, really lovely. We talk about sunnier climes. It's the only time we use this word, really, but we talk about sunnier climes. I don't know if you've ever heard that as a collocation, but it is quite fun, and you could put that in there for a super amazing band 9 wow sort of unusual collocation. Negative psychological effects of seasonal change could be ameliorated. I love that. Very, very good example. I find it really nice how you use your medical knowledge here as well. It just, you feel comfortable, and the examples flow very well. You've kind of woven them into the essay without them being heavy. So turning to the other side of the argument, travellers are often blamed for inconveniences such as traffic congestion. This is apparent, especially apparent for densely populated cities like Hong Kong, with the influx of tourists put a strain on government. You don't need the, I mean, okay, you can, but it doesn't matter. Here there's an instance where actually you don't have to, but it's not wrong either, to accommodate this trend. However, changes in transport services are not only beneficial to tourists, but the local community. Okay, let's go back to this. Travellers are blamed for density populated where Okay, put a strain on it. Has put pressure on the government. Put a strain on something. It means you could put a strain on the system. Has put a strain on the network and pressure on the government to accommodate this trend or to respond to this problem, or yeah, I might have that. Accommodate the trend. I know what you mean, but here you're very much talking about it as a negative. So you need to be using a word, I think, like problem rather than trend, which could be a bit more neutral. So strain on the network and pressure on government to respond to this, or just respond to this. However, changes in transport services are not any benefit. Now, here, presumably, you'd have to be having a conditional because the changes haven't happened. So it would not only be beneficial to tourists, but the local community. For example, authorities recently then invested more into developing its extensive underground railway system, and this expansion not only helped tourists to travel more conveniently, but also allowed locals to commute to and from work more easily. Okay. So the changes did happen. Okay, so then this is the example. However, so it's not my fault. It's not that you know where you're going. However, changes implemented. So I need to know that they happened. In transport services. Well, not only local but also local community, for example. I think you need that word there just to show when that happened. Now, are we talking about the disadvantages of travelling? It's quite interesting because the only thing I'm hesitating here about, you're talking about the drawbacks to the locals, not the drawbacks to the actual traveller. But maybe we need to just bring that in. So travellers are blamed, and then this is almost like the impact on the locals rather than the impact on the traveller. Okay. But you know what? I don't think this actually matters. But first of all, there's a problem. Okay, which is exacerbated by tourism. Maybe you've just said that. Okay, maybe this is me here. Okay, I just think we need to absolutely make sure that we're talking about the problems caused by travel. Okay, yeah, all right. So travellers are blamed. Okay, I'm with you. Sorry. Okay. This is nice. I really, really like your language in here. Okay. I really like the grammar because you've worked very hard on the grammar, and I feel that you're now kind of I feel you have more control over the grammar. You know what you're doing. You know what's gonna work, and you know what you have to show, and you're showing it very nicely. But all this, you're doing it in 300 words, which is incredible because you've developed the essay really well. And now I've sort of understood the point you're making here. I see what you're doing, and it's clever. I mean, you're good at this. Yeah, you can be really confident here. In conclusion, due to the individual and societal benefits, I believe the advantages of travelling far outweigh disadvantages. Now, be careful here, because this is a little bit of an empty sentence, and you don't do that very much, but beware of this, because there's nothing in this that's kind of substantial. Go back to what you've been saying. For the advantages of travelling, namely, or notably, so just watch out on this empty sentence here. So the advantages of travelling, notably, and then coming back here, notably for expansion ideas, or something like that. Far outweigh, and then here, any transport or technical complaints. Just because you're so good at this, Marshal, you may as well get all the points you can. Okay, so just put that in there. Given, yes, hey, that most cities brought back to themselves around. Yes, well done. Thank you very much. Yes, well done. Extra points for that. Well done. Nice essay. Really, really good. I'm glad your exam is coming soon. I'm really glad you've done this extra correction pack. Because, you know, it's just you're doing this really, really well. Okay, graph. Rather annoying to have another bar chart, but let's totally nail this. The bar chart compares the preference of 6 movie genres among young men and women. Overall, comedy is most popular for both genders, having a total of around 280 votes, while animation is least preferred, being only half as popular as comedy. Well done. You don't need that punctuation. Just put a comma in there. Really nice. So you've mentioned, what I'm looking at is that you mention everything. Okay. You tell me obviously what's happening here, but in different words. And you've understood that there's no date on this, so you're just going to use it present tense. So that's perfect. Having 116 female votes, romance movies are 4 times more popular among young women than men. Good. More adolescent girls also prefer movies based on drama, but to a lesser extent, having 86 votes from girls and 63 from boys. Great vocab here. In sharp contrast, boys enjoy more action movies at 137, and then put here where its figure is double than. You don't need double than, double that. Okay. So where is just linking back to the position of this. So where its figure is double that of girls. Okay. It's another kind of nice connecting word. Different from whereas, because you're using it like we're using it as a pronoun. Excuse me. Comedy, horror, and animation are similarly popular among both genders, averaging around. We don't average 2, we just average around 140, respectively. However, the number of boys preferring these films still outnumbers girls by around 10%. Apart from drama and comedy, more young men still prefer movies than women. Hey, do you know what? Totally perfect. That's the best answer I've read on that for a really long time. People get into a real muddle on that one, but this is neat. Very, very happy with that. Obviously, you've explained it very carefully, but you've got a lot of these clever lists in here, clever phrases in there. Well done, Marshal. Have a very good day.